Bianca, get your life together. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bianca Skogan Beauty. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. Okay, so this video is a new concept for my channel, and I think I might be able to do a couple videos with this concept. And it's kind of like when I did my no-buy last year, my makeup no-buy, that I wanted to go through the palettes that I had and the makeup that I had and talk about what I have. And that was fun for me, and I enjoyed that, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Right now, this video will be 10 indie brands and the best palettes that I have from those indie brands. In order to film this video, I had to go, I didn't have to, but I chose to make a kind of a big project for myself. I took every single one of my palettes and put them in alphabetical order by brand, and then I put them on a spreadsheet on my computer so that I could see all the palettes like all in one place and rank in my head which one was my favorite. Also, this won't be like my top 10 favorite indie brands and the favorite palettes from that, because there's some, let's call one brand out, Oden's Eye. I couldn't come up with a favorite palette. I couldn't. I have a lot of them and I was like, I'm not prepared for that one yet. And I love Oden's Eye. These 10 that I have here are 10 brands that I could come up with a favorite. And also, I'm wearing one of the palettes on my eyes. I went hard. I did, because I thought it was pretty. Let me show you the look that I was going for. This is what I was trying to go for. I'm gonna put it here. I was trying to go for that. What do you guys think? I think I did okay. Is it perfect? No. Here's 10 indie brands and my favorite palette from those 10 indie brands. Is it your favorite palette? Maybe, maybe not. That's okay, we're all different, that's great. Can you still purchase all of these? No, you can't. But that's also okay, because these are great brands and they are constantly coming up with new palettes, and these new palettes will be amazing. So I really love indie brands, and I think that they are just knocking it out of the park for eyeshadow palettes. So I want to keep this, if this video does well, I want to keep it going, and I'd like to do a mainstream. Like I have mainstream palettes, and like palettes you can buy at Ulta and Sephora. I'd like to keep this going and do the next video, have a 10 mainstream brands and my favorite palettes from those. If you guys think that sounds good, thumbs up this video. Let me know if that sounds fun for you, because I like to see people's collections and I like to hear their thoughts about the collections. Cool. Also, at the end, I filmed this look, so I will have a sped up with like music version of me putting on this look so you can see how I got it. Let's get into these 10 palettes. They're not in any order, they're just what is on top. As I said before, they are 10 brands that I had favorites from. Okay, cool. So the first brand is It's Belle Cosmetics. And It's Belle Cosmetics is one of the first indie brands that I got into. And I love It's Belle Cosmetics because they have a really emollient, shimmery formula, and they are not ridiculously expensive. I feel like they're a pretty good price for the brand, for an indie brand, and they're just this shimmery, glimmery goodness. So this is the Flare Collection Remixed. It is a pressed pigment palette, and I love this palette. I have like 5 or 6 palettes from It's Belle, and that actually is another thing that I wanted to say. These palettes are ones that I had like 4 or more palettes from a brand. If I only had one palette from a brand, obviously that's my favorite because it's the only palette I have. So I wanted to make sure I had like 4 or more palettes from that brand to put it in the running here. I have quite a few palettes from It's Belle, and this one's my favorite. And I think it's because when I have a shimmery formula, as you can see on my eye right now, I have a light shimmer in the front. It's a bright shimmer, whereas on the back is more of it's a matte. It's a deep color. So I have a deep colors matte. I actually have a lighter color here that I covered with the shimmer. And then I have a light inner corner highlighty shade. And so that's my favorite kind of shimmer, is usually something that is bright, because I feel like I can do a nice inner corner, or I can do it in the middle of the eye. I don't love dark outer corner shimmers. So this one has more of those bright colors. I'd say this one is kind of the deepest, but I still feel like it's a mid-tone and it could go like on the middle. I have made eye looks with just this palette. So all shimmer eye looks with just this palette. And out of all of my It's Belle palettes, this one is my favorite. They have come up with palettes that I think like the Cool Summer was one of their first palettes that had shimmers and mattes. And their mattes are okay, but they're not as good as their shimmers. The Flare Collection Remix is my #1 palette from It's Belle Cosmetics. Okay, next brand is Gourmande Girls. And this just so happens to be the first palette I ever got from Gourmande Girls. So it might just be because I've used it the most that I like it the most. But I also just love it. I love it. So this is the Spooked palette. And it was it was like designed and collaborated with Doodles by the Bunny. It has up here Doodles by the Bunny and Gourmande Girls. And I am a Halloween fiend, or I'm a holiday fiend. I love holidays, all of them, every single one of them. And so when I get a holiday palette, it just is something special to me. I love to have a palette that is holidays. And if you look inside, you can still see some of the designs on there. In the orange, there's a bat. And here's a pumpkin, there's a spiderweb, a pumpkin, spiderweb, and that's just G for Gourmande Girls, a bat. Anyways, we have designs on the shadows, so pretty. And this is like the perfect Halloween palette for me. There's other Halloween palettes that have like oranges and reds or oranges and purples, but this is, if I think of Halloween colors, in my head, Halloween colors are black and orange, purple and lime green. Those are Halloween colors. You can add on red for like blood. But what do we have here? We have black and orange, lime green, and purple. And then we have some red, like I said. And then you've got some beautiful shimmers in here. This is the perfect Halloween palette. And I've gotten quite a few palettes from Gourmande Girls since, and I have enjoyed them. They've come out with a couple more like Halloween themed ones, and this one is still my favorite, but I love it. This is my favorite from Gourmande Girls. This is it. This is it. Okay, the next palette is from Unearthly Cosmetics. They used to be called Alien Cosmetics. I did actually get a couple of things when they were Alien Cosmetics, but now they're Unearthly, and I actually, while I was putting all of this on a spreadsheet, realize I have a ton of palettes from Unearthly. I think it's because they put their palettes on sale. And they'll do like a warehouse sale. And so they'll have their palettes for half off or more. And I am a sucker for sales. And so you put something on sale and I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. Do I need it? No, I don't. But it's half off. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have bought that for the whole price. Anyways, I think I bought this one for half off. This is the Sleepover palette. And this is the palette that made me discover that I actually like pink eyeshadow. I thought for the longest time that I didn't like pink eyeshadow because it might make me look like I have pink eye. I actually don't like the color pink very much, which is funny because it's kind of in my hair right now. It's kind of a pinky purple, but anyways, I'm starting to like pink more. But like when I have clothes, none of my clothes are pink. Look, it's on my nails too. I'm discovering. It was this is helping me to discover that I like pink. Anyways, I thought for the longest time I hated clothes that were pink. I hated makeup that was pink. I hated pink. I just grew up as a green girl. I have always liked green. This palette, I got it because it was on sale and it blew me away. It is stunning. I made a look with this palette for Valentine's Day and it was the prettiest look that I had done. Well, I would say it was the prettiest look all year that I had done, but that was in February. But still, it was like top 2. Like, I really do like this look, but it might be my favorite look even now in June. So I really love this look, this palette. It has pinks in varying like ranges. We have like a deep purple pink, a baby pink. We have a hot pink. We have a shimmery pink. It's perfect. I love it. So that is just a really good, amazing palette. It's my favorite palette from the brand. And I have quite a few palettes from Unearthly Cosmetics. Not like the other ones aren't good. That one blew me away. I only got it because it was on sale and I'm so glad I did. Okay, here's one that is surprising because I have said on my channel that I just said I was a green girl. I am, but not on my eyes, which is funny because today I have kind of green on my eyes. It's surprising that this palette from Fantasy Cosmetica, this is the Bard palette. This has been redesigned. This is not the cover that you can get now. But wait, it's not the Bard. No. Is this? This is the Druid palette. Bianca, get your life together. So the Druid palette. Anyways, it's been redone. You can still get this palette, but it is a different cover. I believe this was their first palette they came out with. This green. I don't like this green. I don't like it. So to still have this be my favorite of all the Fantasy Cosmetica palettes that I own means that these other colors must be amazing, and they are. I have come up with some really beautiful like fall looks with, and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm having some issues. I have come up with some beautiful fall looks because these shades right here, actually that has more of a burgundy to green flip to it because I'm looking at it here and it looks burgundy. Anyways, and then we've got like some like orangey, toasty shades. This is kind of a blue-green right here. So really, I feel like there's only two shades that I do not like because this is one that also kind of has a blue-green flip. And this one I feel like I can work with because it has that shimmery aspect to it. So, is it weird that this is my favorite of all the Fantasy Cosmetica palettes when it has that green that I don't like? It just shows that the other shades are so stunning and make such beautiful fall looks that it is still my favorite. So I think that puts it above because it's so good even if it has shades that I don't like. So to me, that's why it's my favorite. Okay, then we have, this is from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. It is an Australian brand, and this was my first palette from them. And I love this palette. It's funny because I bought it and I remember stepping outside of my comfort zone buying it because there were other palettes that I was like, oh, that would be a really pretty color story. That is more up my alley. And I was like, actually, that was the nearly natural one. And I actually have that one now. But I didn't get that one, even though I was like, oh, that one would be really pretty. I was like, Bianca, this one is going to be amazing. Just looking at this, I was not as impressed. It was the swatches. They swatched them online and I was like, oh my gosh, those colors transform. And it's this color right here. It probably doesn't even look that amazing. It's called Good Day because it's Australian. It is, oh my gosh, I have to like somehow show you how amazing this shadow is because it's so amazing. It just, I will like take this palette and like use just this shade with multiple looks because I just love this shade so much. It is such a beautiful inner corner shade. It just brightens up any look. It's amazing. I love that shade. And then not only is that shade amazing, the other shades are really, really beautiful. And it has helped me to step out of my comfort zone because a lot of the time I'll kind of do a gradient like this, you know, dark to light in one color scheme. And there really isn't that, there kind of might be like this navy to this blue. And I guess I could get maybe a sunset a little bit, but I'd have to get I have to get creative with this palette. And that has been really fun to get creative with this palette to see how I can step out of my comfort zone and make looks. And every single look I've come up with this palette, stunning. And Glaminatrix Cosmetics is top 5 indie brands for one of my, it's maybe even top 3. Okay, yeah. It's my top 3 favorite indie brands. It was hard for me to pick a favorite because I love all of them, but this one stands above the rest. It just has those little pieces that are just amazing. Okay, then we have Nomad Cosmetics. This palette is the color story. It is the season right now. Summer has just started and I actually love summertime. So a lot of people like, okay, I follow a lot of like fall Instagram channels and all of them are saying like, in my head right now, I am drinking hot cocoa and I am watching the leaves change and I like, you know, I'm in a fall state of mind and I'm like, oh no, don't skip summer. Like I love fall, but I need summer. I need summer to defrost from the 9 months of cold that Utah is. So I love summertime. I love it. I love it so much. But What do I love a little bit more than summertime? Even though I just talked about how much I love summer, fall. Fall is my favorite. Fall, I love fall. But I need summer before I need to defrost from winter to be able to appreciate it getting cold again. Anyways, that's a long story. You're welcome into my crazy brain. So, this palette is the most stunning artwork. Like, I want to live here. Look at that. We've got some pumpkins and some trees and a barn and some apples and oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. It's the Hudson Valley palette and I wouldn't even care what's inside this palette because it just puts me in that thought process of beautiful fall and how I feel around fall time. It's that anticipation of the holidays coming up and it's no longer going to be hot even though I like the hot. I love fall. I love it so much. Anyways, but luckily inside is beautiful also. So we have, I do wish it had more shimmers. The matte to shimmer ratio is not my preferred, but again, what did I say? I wouldn't even care what was in here. And even that, I prefer this side of the palette much more than that side, which is funny because it doesn't look like that based on what I'm wearing. But I don't love cool tones as much. They're not my favorite. I like warm tones. I feel like they contrast with my green eyes better. Anyways, all that to say, there's things about this palette that I would change if I could, and it's still my favorite out of all the Nomad palettes. So, because it's just fall. Okay, I need to take a trip and like travel around Hudson Valley. Travel around like New England. I want to go to New England during fall time and just like tour New England. That sounds amazing. Next palette is from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. So I have quite a few of their palettes as well, and I think they're kind of redoing things right now because as you can see, this is the Pastel Dreams palette. They have these ginormous pan sizes. Ginormous. They're huge. And it's fun. It's fun to have these huge pan sizes, but I believe they're changing that up and they're going, sorry, my hair is stuck. They're going to smaller pan sizes. And I think that's awesome because I think that people in particular just like smaller pan sizes. But whatever. I have this palette and I love this palette. It is my favorite pastel palette in the world. So I remember when the Natasha Denona pastel palette came out. And I was, I guess, kind of trying to talk myself out of buying it. It was before my no buy. It was before it. But I just was trying not to buy everything just because it was Natasha Denona, which I still am trying to do. Anyways, and I had heard like good and bad reviews of the Natasha Denona pastel palette. People were like, it's great. And other people were like, nah, there's better. Natasha Denona can do better. Or there's better pastel palettes out there. So I had heard from other content creators that this is it. This is the pastel palette that beats all pastel palettes. So I was like, okay, let's try it out. And they were right. It's this one. I love it because it has a shimmer that goes with the matte. And it just, none of the shades are too, like, faint. And that's kind of with the Natasha Denona one, which I eventually did get during a 21 Days of Beauty sale. And I think I had a gift card. But this one's better. This one is way better. This one, the shades, even though they're pastel, they're still pigmented. And the shimmers are, it's just a beautiful palette. And guess what? This is going to last me until the day I die because his pan sizes are ginormous. So I love it. Out of all, I feel like Give Me Glow Cosmetics has other really good palettes. I have this Bad Witch Club one that's really fun and really Halloween-y. But because this one is so special, it is such a amazing pastel palette that I had to give this one. I had to rank this one my top. Another one. This is from Ace Beaute. This is a lot of these are my first palettes that I got from these brands. I wonder if that's like a nostalgia thing. I've only been doing this channel for 3 years, so how do I have nostalgia? I don't know, whatever. So this palette was my first palette from this brand, and I still think it's the best palette. I think because I love the concept, it came with a game, and I thought that was so much fun, and I did the game, and I've talked about this a couple times. I didn't get this palette in PR or anything because I am a tiny YouTube channel, and when I got it, I was even tinier. So I got it quite a bit after everybody else. And so I did a video about it, about me doing the game, and by the time I had done it, it was just so much longer after everybody did their videos that I never put it up. And it's the only video that I filmed and never put up. I still have it. I actually watched it the other day and I noticed that my eyeshadow technique has gotten better. So that was kind of fun. Anyways, because I was like, why don't I just put this palette? Why don't I put that video up? Just for funsies. But actually, I don't think I will because my technique has gotten better. Anyways, all that is to say, this is the best palette from Beaute. I like the color story because it ranges from, we've got some neons, we've got some grungy colors, we've got some beautiful shimmers, we have my favorite purple, we have some like fall-y tones. I feel like you just have such a range in here that it can go in any direction. And some of Beaute I feel like their palettes are very monochromatic. Like, they'll have like a purpley blue palette, or they'll have kind of like a neutral palette, or they'll have like a gold kind of palette. They'll just have or I have one of their rainbow palettes and it's like, you want rainbow? Here's rainbow. I feel like it's the only palette that has this variety without it being just a straight up rainbow palette. Because straight up rainbow palettes are hard to make multiple looks with. And so I just really enjoy this palette. I think it is their best yet, and I really loved the game. I have 2 more palettes left. Okay, this is Ensley Rain, the Lands of Enchantment palette. So, Ensley Rain is a brand that I have just been getting palettes from this year. So why do I already have so many palettes from them? Because they're expensive, and so I decided to just save up some money and buy 3 at a time. Yeah, I used 2 of my bonuses, and I bought 3 at a time, and then I bought another 3 at a time. So I have 6 of their palettes. We have this beautiful front art and this beautiful back art, which actually, this brand is the brand that made me discover that that AI art is happening. I didn't know about it until they actually talked about it. They were like, hey, let's talk about AI art. And a lot of people were upset about it for a good reason, because it's taking the actual human beings out of art. That was an interesting, eye-opening experience. Anyways, let's not talk about that right now. We're talking about the actual insides. So I finally got to try this brand, and it is absolutely stunning. It is fire. It is amazing. Everything about this brand is perfection, except for maybe the AI art. But the actual colors and how expensive it is. It's pricey. It's a pricey brand. And it's because if you can see how many of these are like shiny, holochrome, multichrome shades in here, that's why. It's pricey because we have multiple holochromes. We have multiple multichromes. We have some very expensive shadows in here. So I think that the video that I have done where I got the most compliments on my eyeshadow look, I think it was my last FabFitFun video, I was wearing this palette. And like, it's funny because I do this channel, so you'd think I get a lot of compliments on my eyeshadow looks. I'll get 1 or 2 here or there. But that video, I got like a lot of people being like, what's on your eye? Look, I look is so pretty. And I was like, oh, wow. This palette, specifically this light language shade, which is, let's do 2. Okay, it just looks white here, and it almost kind of looks white there. But when you swatch it, look at that. Look at that. It goes from like nothing to purple. It looks like a trick. It looks like I have a filter, which I don't, because I don't know how to do filters. You're welcome. So stunning, stunning. This palette. Anyways, also it's the biggest palette of theirs. This is the biggest of their palettes, and it's like the same price as their smaller palettes. So, I mean, I feel like for the amount of money, they're all they're like $80 some. I will have all of the descriptions. I haven't mentioned that yet. Man, you are really good at this, Bianca. All of this information I will have in my description box. So this is my favorite palette out of all of the Ensley Rain palettes that I've tried so far. I don't have all of them, but I've tried 6 of them, and this is my favorite. Last but not least is what's on my eyes today. I had to save it to last. I don't know why, I just did. It is the Blend Bunny Lure palette. I actually have a video where I did a look with this eyeshadow palette because I love this eyeshadow palette so much. It is my summer video. Actually, I can put it in the cards right here. But it is my summer video from like, not last year. Was it last year or the year before? Anyways, it was a video where I was talking about all my favorite summer palettes. And I had a really, really, really stunning look on that one. And what I've noticed from this palette is it is pigmented. It is pigmented. So I'm sure if you used a light hand, you could get something not as intense, but I don't know how to do that. And so the video, the look that I have from that video, the look is vibrant. The look here, vibrant. I feel like I don't know how to not get a vibrant look, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that because I love vibrant looks. I love color. I love mermaids. You can see mermaids. I'm obsessed with them. I love this palette. I love it. It's my favorite palette. I've shown this on the channel before, but I will show you guys again because I think it's fun. I took some pictures. We went to Hawaii last year, and I brought this palette to the beach, and I took some pictures on the beach with this palette because I'm a nerd. So, it clearly is my favorite from this brand. I love this palette. I love this brand. So, there you go. My favorite palettes from 10 indie brands. There it is. Let me know in the comments if you think I should keep this going, if you'd like to see more of my favorite palettes from indie brands, if you'd like to see from mainstream brands. I actually was looking at like drugstore brands, and I'm severely lacking. I don't have very many drugstore brands. I have quite a few, like, because I have a lot of ColourPop palettes, but I don't have a lot of, like, I think I only have like 4 or 5 drugstore brands, so that one might take, like, I'm not just going to buy palettes for a video, because that's just an extra expense. But maybe one day in the future if I got enough drugstore palettes. And I almost forgot to say, let's show you the look. Man, Bianca, it's getting late, and I don't know what's happening. Here we go. Here's the look. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that look. It was fun to do. It took me 2 tries. I tried to do one with like pink in the center and I hated it. I felt like it was kind of cotton candy and that was not what I was going. I was going for mermaid. Anyways, so I washed it off, which is fine because makeup washes off. So I washed it off and did it again. Sometimes it just doesn't work out the first time and that's fine. I hope you like the look and let me know if you recreate it. Let me know. And if you like this video, if you want to see more from me, subscribe to my channel. If you want to be notified of my video, click the bell. And most importantly, be nice to yourself. Have a great day. Bye.